All right, we're here. We're Eat Talk Repeat. I'm Ash Watkins, joined with Joe Muscal.
Joe Muscalione.
I'm not going to.
Muscalione.
The G is silent like gnocchi.
Muscalione.
Not an ounce of Sicilian blood in her, I can just tell.
And me, no, none, zero. And then we got John Curtis, and together we make up Eat Talk Repeat. This week we are on location in the heart of Chinatown at Shanghai Plaza, and then in the heart of that at Shanghai Taste. And we're so excited to talk all things Chinatown. We've been talking about it for I don't know how long, so this is a fun episode. I know John's been excited for this one.
He's trying to get to this place I wrote my article over a month ago.
I know.
6 weeks ago. EatingLV.com. My Chinatown dentist called Joe and I will. He's done his own.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll back that back and forth what we both discovered. And I've got my Mao cap on straight from Beijing right here. And I'm excited to talk about all things Chinatown today.
We're excited to do it, and we've got the expert here. Again, Eat Talk Repeat. You can find us at Eat Talk Repeat on all platforms. eattalkrepeat.com. We have a newsletter that gets dropped every Wednesday morning. Thank you to producer Sammy. A lot of fun stuff going there. So subscribe to that. Subscribe to the show. Like, follow, leave comments. Email us. cheers@eattalkrepeat.com. We reply. We get to you. And if not, just DM us and track us down one way or another. You can find me at Ash the Attorney. And I think that covers all the nuts and bolts of the show, so let's get into it.
Well, explain why we are three guilos talking about Chinatown.
You know, I'm just here to do that intro, and I'm here to listen and learn all about Chinatown, so why don't you guys explain to me?
Oh, okay.
Well, John was the first one to put Chinatown on the map. He's been doing it since 1996. Some of my earliest memories of great meals was with John. I started covering Chinatown in 2011 when I created the ChinatownVegas.com and at Chinatown Vegas on all social media, and also the Chinatown Google Map. And that's the main drawer. That now gets between 1 and 2 million search views per month.
Yeah.
So, wow.
So Chinatown is a hot topic worldwide now.
Okay, but let's get into, Joe, your story. How you ended up being Mr. Chinatown, or as John says, MrChinatown.com, or the mayor of Chinatown. How did you get there? Like, what's your story? Where did you start? Where did you...
Because you don't look Chinese to me.
Don't look Chinese. I grew up running with my family a small Italian restaurant in New Jersey. And one of our customers was Ed Schoenfeld, who is one of the most important people in Chinese cuisine in the United States. He walked into Shunli Palace one day and says, "You guys need a fast-talking Brooklyn-born Jew as your partner." And they said, "What?" And they said, "See what I mean?" Exactly. So he did. And then before he passed away, he was started Red Farm. But one day after my shift, and I was a waiter at the restaurant at that time, I was 22 or 23, he said, "I want to take you to Chinatown for noodles." And I laughed. Noodles? Chinatown. So we went to Chinatown, New York, and I was really impressed that they really liked him there. So I just started liking Chinese food then, and that was probably 86 or 87.
Okay.
Schoenfeld was both a restaurant owner, an Asian food expert, and a restaurant writer as well in New York. I mean, a very, very huge influence on Chinese food in New York. Yeah.
So you're working in restaurants, falling in love with New York, Chinatown, and then where does it go from there?
Okay, where to go from there? My background is I've done every single position in the restaurant, and not just for a night or two, for minimum 6 months, front, back of house. I was a chef, I was a sommelier, I was a beverage director, I was a tea sommelier, a marketing director, but then I don't know if there's anybody that's done every single thing like that. But I would really like to meet the person that's done every single, because usually when we do this, I met one guy from Croatia. He goes, "Yeah, I was a sommelier and a chef too." I said, "All right, but I'm not done yet." Then when I got with wine director, beverage director, he's like, "Okay, maybe you have me." I said, "I'm still not done yet."
You been a dishwasher?
I was a dishwasher. First of all, we had long hair because I played in a heavy metal band. Nobody would hire us. So me and our bass player, who's now a Michelin star chef in New Jersey, we would wash dishes there in the beginning and bus and back and forth. With no dishwasher machine. We did it all by hand.
Oh, wow.
So anyways, let's fast forward. So when I came here...
What got you to Vegas?
My sister came here with her family. Then my brother, like 6 months later, came with his family. I thought they were crazy. There's nowhere I ever even wanted to visit. I thought everybody lived upstairs from Planet Hollywood. I came out here, I looked around, I saw mountains. I said, this is like Sicily over here. I love it. And then I went back. I had just gotten divorced. My ex-wife was blonde hair, blue eyes from Denmark, which is kind of not Asian either. And then I moved here like in 2004. And then I started eating on the street, probably not too much after that. And it was a lot different then. I remember, I think Plus Saigon 8 might have been the first place I went to. And I don't remember.
What was that?
Plus Saigon 8.
Plus Saigon 8. Yes. Right.
And I remember,
Near Jones.
I don't know if, I think it was number 42, but I'm not exactly sure. And I said, I'll have the number 42. And they're like, that's the pork blood. I was like, I know, that's why I ordered it. And they couldn't understand, like, this white guy was eating like that.
They said, look at you like, you know, like, I used to get that a lot. You know, like, you don't like, yeah, I'll eat it. Okay, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. Yeah. Go ahead.
So I then, then how did I meet Jimmy Lee? Because that's really what integrated me a little bit more with the community. So I met Jimmy Lee through reading John, either the book or his blog at the time. Could have been the blog. And he said, this is like some real serious Chinese. So I had it in my back burner to go there, but I was at this other little hot pot restaurant that actually, we went there. Remember that, the little mini hot pot? And they told me, because the girl I was dating.
Decatur.
Yes.
A little bit off Decatur. Yeah.
Exactly. Good memory. So this girl I was dating was from the northern part of China, and she missed this one sour soup that we actually have something similar on the menu now. Nobody had it. One day I drove her all the way to Monterey Park just to have the soup and come back. So then one day they told me that this guy does it upstairs from the Asia Pacific Plaza on the second floor.
Okay.
Jimmy Lee.
Jimmy Lee.
The owner of Shanghai Taste.
The owner of Shanghai Taste.
Got it.
So I call her up. I says, listen, tomorrow at 11 o'clock, I'm going to take you to have the soup. And it's not all the way in Monterey Park. There's a guy in Chinatown that does it. I pick her up. On the way there, she's like, do you know this guy? I said, not yet, but in 5 minutes, he'll be my best friend. So we went in. I ordered like half of the menu. I said, this guy's really, really good. John is right.
Yeah.
This is really good. But when I was leaving, because I was parking in the back on the second floor, I peek inside, and his father, who passed away now, was doing Xiaolong Bao by hand. He's rolling Xiaolong Bao in there.
Before anybody in this town knew what it was, okay?
Or how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could tell you some stories recently where pronunciation of that are hysterical. I was like, do you even try? But so I run back in the restaurant. I'm like, Jimmy, you didn't tell me you do Xiaolong Bao here. He goes, you know them? I said, of course. I'm coming back tomorrow to eat them.
Yeah.
I went back the next day. I said, these are the best I've ever had. Which is, I've only had them in a handful of places, but I've never had them that good. So that was it. And then John, he moved downstairs. And we got a big group together. John showed up with a bunch of his friends. He was going to cook this special fish. We all got there at 11 o'clock. Jimmy's late, like normal.
Yeah.
Oh, no fish. They didn't have the fish in the store, blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, my God. So we sat down. We ate. It was great. And then Jimmy just disappeared. He went to be a personal chef in Orange County.
Oh. He left for a time. That's true.
Yeah, he left for like 3 years. He was cooking for Mr. Pink, a billionaire from China. And then one day I saw him on Chinese New Year's Day at the 168 market.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, yeah, I just opened up a restaurant across the street. I said, how's it doing? He goes, not good. I could use your help. Last time you bought a lot of people. You bought John. Right away, John heard it. So I went there and I used Eddie Schoenfeld's line. I said, you need a fast-talking New Jersey-born Sicilian as your partner.
Wow.
And he did, wow.
Circle.
Yeah, so that's it. He says, I really don't need much here. Everything's paid for here. Let's just see if we can build it. So we built New Goo, and thanks to John, he got us on TV. We're on Channel 3 with John. Was it Channel 3, right?
Yeah.
And blew it. The restaurant was super great and super busy, and Jimmy's skills was unmatched at the time, and John said that exactly like that on TV. Our problem is our first month, our food cost was 56%.
Wow.
The second month, it was like 54%. The third month, it was 52%. I was like, we need to come up with a little better concept.
Yeah.
The ideal is 25.
Yeah.
25, 30%. When you're spending half.
What was the concept?
It was like upscale, affordable Chinese. He was doing a whole short rib for $29. And I think it might have even cost us $29. I would.
And the food was incredible. It was like Shanghai Taste. I ain't even a restaurant.
Yeah.
And that what, 40 seats, maybe?
40 seats, and we had a tea program that was unmatched in the United States. It was set up like a wine list. We had the grower, the elevation, the region, the maker, the techniques. Like nobody ever, till today, I don't think there's a tea lists like that. And then when the
Had its like phase in like 2005 when all those like
then you get a tea sommeliers are everywhere. Joe's also a tea sommelier.
but now I feel like it's hard to find. But
You know, the problem is like when I was selling wine, it was just how I first met John actually with wine and beer sales. You know, I would walk into the restaurant, the server, the staff would run up to me. They're so happy to see me. They like to hear about the story. They like to taste wine. When I would walk in with the tea, and you got to tell a server, he's got to stop what he's doing and rinse the glass and do this. It takes 10 minutes to serve the tea. It's like, you know what? I'd rather just throw a tea bag in there.
Yeah.
Well, fine tea it's really, really hard.
that's true.
It's really hard. It's too much work.
Of the American culture.
No, it's the second oldest beverage in the world after water, but still, it's going to be hard in this country to, unfortunately.
Chinatown.com. Yeah, what for that? Because you and I talked about it.
We talked about it.
Somebody needs to do it. And you said, when are you going to do it? I said, well, I got too many.
He was still doing the book at the time. I mean, he was busy. He just came off Iron Chef.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, I was like, I don't think John could be bothered. But, you know, it went, people would ask, he's living a life now.
Yeah.
People would ask me, oh, there's a Chinatown there? Which casino's in it? Like, seriously.
Oh, no, that's true.
Like, nobody knew. But, I mean, he discovered this way before me. But I walked out of Raku one night and I saw a bunch of limousines out there. I said, you know what? This is going to really happen. And right away, I said, 5 minutes away, you have 145,000 hotel beds. Every 3-4 days, there's a new crop of people.
Yeah.
And then I got home and I researched a little bit and I learned that the San Francisco Chinatown was the second most popular tourist attraction in the city after the Golden Gate Bridge. I said, you know what? It's going to happen here.
Wow.
So I went around and I tried to buy ChinatownLasVegas.com. It wasn't available. Then the guy wanted too much money, and I was able to get Chinatown Vegas for really almost nothing. And I built that website in 2011.
Okay.
Then I did all the at Chinatown social media,
Okay.
and then the Google Map, probably about a year later.
Yeah.
So it was fun, and I just started like advocating for it the best I could. It's a passion project. I like to say I donate a portion of my salary to keep that website going because it
You
cost
put a
me.
lot of content on it.
There's 5,000 images. There's about 5,000 pages on there. There's everything on there.
Yeah, I go there. So we do our food news you can use, and every so often I remember to go on Chinatown, see what's coming up and what's happening. So it's always a great resource for us.
No, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I have some partners now. I have a Chinese partner and I have a Japanese Korean partner that does some content.
Okay.
And we have a production. So we're going to be doing more content. Every Monday I do This Week in Chinatown, which is a newsletter type thing.
Oh.
And now we're going to do a reel or video aspect to it. So the different sections in there. There's even one section called the gripes, which I would love John to do the gripe section. If John would come here and just do the gripes, make an that's how it started. He was a better griper than him. The potholes that are here. You mean to tell me that Clark County doesn't have money to fix the potholes? You ever pull out of the McDonald's there?
People forget this I've been here since the 80s, right? Until Chinatown started, until in the 2000s, Spring Mountain Road was known mainly for being the worst road in Clark County, the main artery in Clark County, because it was just nothing but potholes from the strip all the way out to Rainbow. It was just a complete disaster. But you could always drive down it because it was nothing but potholes and auto repair shops and muffler shops.
That's what this was. This was all body shops here.
Like 3 miles, 3-4 miles. So if you didn't mind the pothole, and it was always easier to drive down it than Flamingo or Desert Inn or what have you. So that was true up until around 2000.
So what are what we're talking about Chinatown, Vegas. What are the true like geographic boundaries of?
According to Justin Jones, the current Clark County Commissioner, he decided to say that it's from Desert Inn to Twain.
Okay.
And from, say, the 15 to Rainbow. Now, the governor originally came out and said it's from the Strip to Rainbow. But as an advocate for Chinatown and an unpaid ambassador, my main fear is that they're going to put a couple tables out by the Strip.
Yeah.
Put a big welcome to Chinatown, put barricade like right by the fashion show, and tourists are going to just go there, and MGM and Caesars is going to
seal you off
and seal us off.
Steal the thunder and steal the people and not let them.
So I'm like really saying, listen, it's from Valley View to Rainbow.
That's what I-
Exactly. It started
Or Polaris even, or even if you want to say the highway's fine.
Yeah.
You know, when they tried the redevelopment project, when they started that, I was invited to go to the very first launch.
Okay.
And there was the architect had put a beautiful plan in underneath the 15 with a big dragon gate right there. It would have been unlike anything. You would have seen it from the 15, but that was knocked down. So now I think it is going to be in Valley View, or perhaps a little bit where like Cultivate Dispensary. I think it's either Procyon or Polaris. That would be fine. You have the Romies opening.
one that runs
Yeah.
by where the
Yes, $10.
Yeah.
where Kessler's going to be.
Yes, he's opening up in that same spot. He's going to do well there.
Yeah.
That's a great spot for him.
Okay, so we'll start, let's just say Polaris or Valley View is where we start, and then you say it goes all the way up to Rainbow?
I would end it on Jones, but
Okay.
you know, Yelp was the one that came out and said it's Rainbow because
Well,
like
at Rainbow, you have Greenland Market, which is
Yeah.
a big,
Yeah.
just a big play in the game because it's a giant market. It's got food courts, and there's got to be a half a dozen or more
yeah,
restaurants.
so I go to some of those food courts. There's some good food there.
There's a whole mile between Jones and
That's
and where
empty.
there's not. It's just
It's residential walls, so
Yeah.
like, what could you really do there?
Dentistry and things
Do
like
you
that.
take it all the way over to DI and Twain also?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not going out, for example, like on where H Mart is. There's a lot of Korean, Asian, everything there, but that
You
is,
could go to Flamingo too if you wanted to, where you.
the only thing with Flamingo is when you get to the Lindo Michoacan,
Yeah.
there's a big sign that says "Welcome to Little Ethiopia," and that is actually official.
Oh.
So when people, and John's mentioned this in his articles all the time, when people say, "How come?" Like, listen, I love Shang, I love Yun noodle, and I joke around. If they want to try at that restaurant, I wish they would come and get one here because
Yeah.
that's Little Ethiopia there, and that's official. Chinatown isn't even as official. Chinatown as that is official. Little
Why is
Ethiopia,
that?
because there's like I think they said 500 Ethiopian businesses. Like most of those businesses are all Ethiopian.
Oh.
If you go on the opposite corner, like which would be the northeastern corner,
Okay.
says Lucy, all those. It's
Yeah.
all Ethiopian. I think a lot of it.
A lot of cab drivers go
A
there.
lot of cab drivers
You
go there.
mentioned San Francisco Chinatown and then also New York's Chinatown. Why do you think Vegas has such a vibrant scene also? What do you think led to
Because
that?
we get the locals all flock here now, and then again, 3 minutes away, 4 minutes away is the Strip,
Okay.
and you know, everybody wants to get off the Strip now.
Yeah.
You know, and what's amazing about, unfortunately, if you know, this is not a tourist trap. It's a tourist magnet, if anything. Whereas you go to a lot of the other Chinatowns now, they're tourist traps.
Yeah.
You go to Little Italy in New York, it's a tourist trap.
It's the last place
Yeah.
you want to eat Italian.
So, but
Yeah.
one thing is about this, I can't even think. I mean, maybe somebody's, I'm not even the all you could eat. I'm not a fan of all you could eat
Yeah.
places, but I don't think they're tourist traps. I mean, that's what they do. But I can't really think of a tourist trappy place on this street. People just come here. There's just a lot of good food here, and there's no resort fees, and you know, I think that has a lot to do with
There's
it.
something very organic about it.
Yeah, and it just happened by itself.
Big money
Exactly.
into the shopping center owners and all this, and we'll get into franchises that are taking over
Oh.
in a minute. But
All the big names are
even
here.
with the franchises coming out of Southern California and Asia, that you still feel like this is a ground up kind of a thing, rather than a top down food scene, which is what the Strip has always been. This is organic from starting with mom and pops who moved here and opened serving food of their homelands, and they just developed a clientele, and now everybody's feeding off it literally now.
You've mentioned Raku just now. John, you've always
He's
mentioned
been
it.
big on the Rocco's that they opened.
Is that, like, if you had to say who's the pioneer that really...
For national exposure,
Well, let me give you my thumbnail on this, and some of this predates you, and all of it predates Ash. It really, there was the original Chinatown Plaza right there, which is the original one. That opened in 95 and really took off in 96. And it had 6 or 7 restaurants. Sam Wu Barbecue was there.
Capital Seafood was probably there.
Just still there.
Yep.
But it was like there was I think 7 or 8 restaurants, and you were like, wow. And that was it. That was pretty much it. And this is 1995, 1996. A few years later, a place called Shanghai Noon opened up. and Fuck Kim Long. That's the name. Fuck Kim Long. Opened up in the shop, big long shopping
The
center.
center at Spring Mountain.
Center at Spring Mountain. And Shanghai Noon was owned by a guy named Sammo Hung. I think it opened in '99, maybe 2000. And it was the first time I had ever seen. It was a place not much bigger than Shanghai Taste, and it was first time you got rolled beef pancakes and Shanghai noodles. And Sammo Hung was an actor on the original Hawaii Five-O.
No kidding. So I don't even know about this place.
So this place opened and just down the street from the first Chinatown Plaza, and it got very popular. With people going, this is different. This is not the same old stir-fried Cantonese food.
Yeah.
Now that had been here since 1975. Also, don't forget Krung Siam. Not Krung Siam.
Kung Fu.
Kung Fu, yes. Thai and Chinese.
So
Yeah.
that's been here since 1975. But so start with that. Go to the original Chinatown Plaza. Sammo Long starts with Shanghai Noon, and then Fuck Him Long starts. Right about the same time. Then I think the next big sort of earthquake.
Up by where China Mama original is?
Well, first was China Mama, around 2004, 2005. And that was when the whole Shaolin Bao thing started out.
Yes.
The dumplings. Now, some of these places had that. Jimmy Lee was doing his thing upstairs at Three Villages, and they opened the Pan Pacific Plaza, or that's what it's called. And that's when the SF Market opened. So you suddenly had a 99 Ranch Market open in 96, and about less than 10 years later, you had the SF Market, you had Jimmy Lee and his stuff, you had a sushi bar, you had an izakaya there. And this was like the early 2000s, and you could just see the character of the neighborhood was changing. And then Raku opens in 2008.
That national exposure.
You have China Mama, the original, in 2004, and I may be off a year there too, but I think it was 2004. Then Raku in 2008, and that's when you just went, this, and Joe's right, the limo started showing up, and it wasn't just me and a few.
Well, you were there with Bourdain, weren't you?
I was in the restaurant with Bourdain.
Yeah, that's really blew it up.
So that was 2010, I think it was.
Oh.
And that's when you knew that this whole neighborhood was changing.
Yep.
And that's when that was, so let's say that's 2010. That's the first 5 years, it was only people like me and Max Jacobson cared, and a few aficionados. And by 2010, lots of people were paying attention. And then from 2010 now, it's basically doubled in size.
And Ishiza across the street's now celebrating its 25th anniversary. They're the first izakaya in the city.
Ichiza.
Ichiza, exactly.
The one that's like upstairs?
Upstairs, across the street, upstairs.
They've opened a second one, I think.
Ishiza Honari, which is all private dining. And that plaza was actually before the Chinatown Plaza, but this wasn't called Chinatown then. Cafe Hills.
And that was originally one of the first dim sum.
Yes, in that corner.
In that corner.
Yeah, and it still is. It's still a dim sum.
I am not giving a very accurate, direct timeline, but it was very much hodgepodgey.
And then now it's all connected.
And then around 2008, 9, 10, you could just tell it became a thing.
And I started saying about a year ago, where else could you go in the nation where you have pretty much 200 restaurants in a row on one street?
Exactly, in 3 months.
It doesn't matter what the exact count would have been, but I was like, it's about 200.
Yeah.
So that's why, and it's funny because almost at the same time, John was counting them walking and I was counting them walking. So it's over 200 and it's going to be over 300 soon.
Now, when you go into these restaurants and they're packed and people are lining up for places, boba tea places, pizza places, all this stuff, what do you think the ratio is of locals versus visitors that are, tourists?
I know for here,
Okay.
we are in this location now that we opened up a Southwest location. We're probably 75% tourists here, 25% locals.
Really?
Because they know they could park easily at the other location and get the same food, more or less.
Locals are
but
going
for the other people here, I even just talked to Ishiza about it. They're about 50-50.
Okay.
So I think if you're from here,
Big local.
yeah.
Yes.
I go there. They have a Japanese breakfast. They're still the only ones that do a traditional, authentic Japanese breakfast in the entire city. Where they come out with they first folks
And pickled fish.
Yeah. They have natto, everything.
Acquired taste for those who haven't had it before.
Up there with your, what was it, sauerkraut fish?
Sauerkraut fish.
You know how many locations they have?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's one,
thousands.
actually just
Thousands.
It was so funny. He brought it up on our podcast, and then literally few days later, I'm finding out one exists in Newport Beach, and I go, "What?"
You know, if they would market that not sauerkraut fish,
Or sour fish?
it would be. It's delicious. It's that sour soup that originally was.
Like hot and sour soup with the fillets of fish in it.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
it's perfectly fine.
It's delicious.
Soup. Yeah, yeah.
The original one was supposed to go over here,
Oh.
and then last minute they backed out, and now it's going to be. I don't know. Your Win Key's moving in there.
Oh.
Winky,
The barbecue place.
the barbecue
Yeah.
way down south.
That's
Winky makes the best Cantonese barbecue. Oh my god!
by far, and they're going to take this big spot in the corner here.
Yeah, I went to the one on Rainbow.
Yeah. It's another.
Really interesting.
We're on the opposite end. The Shanghai
Yeah.
Taste is the opposite end of the same plaza.
Well, I went to Win Key before you guys went out there, though. So yeah,
I've been going to Win Key for. They're really, really
and I
good.
really like the build out of it. It's kind of cool.
You walk in, you're kind of in a little.
I feel like
Yeah.
you're in a street corner alley.
Yeah.
Like a courtyard in Hong Kong or
like
something.
22 seats. You know,
Yeah.
it's tiny.
That's why they're moving here. They want to be able to do parties and stuff. I spoke to them. So they're going to open here, I think, in 2 months. I think they're going to do well. There's no barbecue at all. It's like,
Yeah, they're not right. You get some like at New Asian barbecue, but not as much as it should be. Well, so let's talk about our count of restaurants. Not that I want to debate counts. You came out with 248. I came out with 239. We can all agree it's around 250 restaurants, and it's like a moving target. Like I said, it's like herding cats that keep having litters. Okay, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and even since I did my count and you did your count, eatinglv.com, Chinatown.com.
Some
You know,
places
they're closing.
Yeah.
They're closing.
And opening.
And opening. So I mean, you.
well, right next door, Mr. Barbecue closed since then. And now it's, I just saw the sign, Mr. Kim's.
Yeah,
He's
I saw
open.
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I stopped by. I said, when are you open? Well, I'm open right now. I said, that was fast.
So it was McGall, and that closed.
That was the Filipino-ish.
Yeah. But they
Korean,
closed,
yep.
and then they had this place closed. So now a third place is going in.
Is Mr. Kim's the same thing? Korean?
He's all over.
He has one in Henderson, he just told me. I just stopped in there before I went to meet her upstairs. But you know, one of the problems was with the marketing team before that. They posted one time, located right off of Spring Mountain Road. So I wrote to him. I says, right off it. Shanghai Taste is 7 stores in. I wouldn't dare to say that where our address is 4266 Spring Mountain.
Yeah.
Well, you need it to be in a manhole cover in the middle of the street before you say it's on Spring Mountain Road? Why would you gonna let people? Is it on Pioneer Street? Yeah, I'm like, what kind of marketing strategy is this? I wrote to them. I said, it's on Spring. You're right on Spring Mountain.
Yeah.
So think about this. I think it was Brandon Power at Golden Tiki. That was the first.
He now owns Pachi Pachi.
Yeah. Yes. He was the first clever guy to say 4 minutes from the strip. And it's brilliant because you get tourists from Indiana, Vegas, what if it's dangerous?
Yeah.
5 minutes sounds like you're just rounding it off.
Yeah.
When you say it's 4 minutes from the strip, people say, you know what? It's safe. How far can it be? And if you got
4 minute drive.
yeah, and if you got the 5 or 6 minutes, they're not going to tell the Uber turn around. They lied to us. They're going to go.
And I'm sure you've seen that Uber has helped this area.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to trying to get a taxi to come back and pick you up and take you back to the strip. So,
And now with the loop,
yes.
the Tyler Fairbanks, who is the project manager, he says he's been coming to Vegas for years, and they stay at the Bellagio, and they were thrilled when they could get Uber to come to Chinatown because this is where they've been eating. He's like, now I'm going to be able to walk downstairs from the Bellagio, get in the loop tunnel, and boring company, and for 4 minutes go to any plaza I want. So it's going to be, the future of transportation in Chinatown, at least, is definitely underground.
All right, well, now let's talk about things I don't want to know, Chinatown.
Yes, there's lots of them. Me too.
Wait, let's take a break.
Okay.
Let's go more into the nuance of what you two discovered on your census of like the breakdown of what genres we've got, what our likes, dislikes, and then we're going to put you on the spot on pet peeves.
Sure.
And we're going to make it gripes.
Gripes.
Yes.
Potholes, ferocious.
Let's do a quick break and then we'll come back.
Welcome to Salmon Ash, the new standard for personal injury law, because you deserve a team that delivers real support and results. When you have both, your whole world can change. Salmon Ash Injury Law, because you deserve what's right.
We're back, and I've got to bring it up. Your favorite topic, John. Before we get into your breakdown of both of your censuses, the Facebook group, Las Vegas Foodie.
You want to ruin my whole day?
I'm putting you both on.
Do you know who runs that?
What?
Do you know who runs that by any
I don't
chance?
know who runs it, but I think once you join, you can put up whatever idiotic, inane
Yes.
question you have.
Yes.
Like,
So
yeah.
we mentioned
Oh, that's
it
right.
once-
Even anonymous now
Yeah.
they can post.
we mentioned it before, but someone posted going, essentially, did you guys know there's this great Chinatown in Las Vegas?
Have any of you been?
And why is no one talking about it?
Really, nobody's talking about it. LA Times said it's the best food in Vegas is in Chinatown.
Right, yeah.
Why do you think it still has this hidden gem, or is these just idiots? Do you
White
think,
people.
you just think,
Yeah, I think he's right.
you think,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I just wondered if it was maybe for some reason Vegas just isn't getting the attention from media or locals, or if it really is just some dumb Facebook
Well, before
poster.
Joe answers, let me just throw this in parenthetically, because this has been the uphill climb that you take critical mass now. And I want Joe to take this over to me. So I remember pitching back 15 years ago, pre-Bourdain, and that's when I knew, people writing for Bon Appetit and Gourmet, and I was plugged in, and I submitted articles. That's small ones, but I got paid sometimes. And I tried to get an editor of a national magazine, Bon Appetit is a friend of mine, to do a long thing about Chinatown. Right when it was taken off, right after Raku opened, I used to save the rejection letters. They just weren't interested. They wanted to know what Mario Batali liked, or do you want to write something about Oscar Goodman's martinis? That's all they wanted, okay? And I said, guys, this is the next big thing in Vegas, not Gordon Ramsay's 15th restaurant, okay? But you always run up against this because it doesn't have. It's still a niche appeal, even if Asians outnumber Occidentals, by 3 to 1.
And the Strip is still, the Strip has the big PR machine, and they could cater, they could put people up in a suite.
Yeah.
They get in the last 2 years, I know, what is that called? The LVAC, the Las Vegas Authority Convention.
Yeah.
They actually told me that it got to the point where writers are just saying, we want to go to Chinatown. So actually they did a crawl with the chef from Subverside, who I think you rave about that place.
Jeremy
Ford. They did 8-hour food crawl here. They included Shanghai Taste.
Las Vegas Visitor and Convention Authority?
Yes. It was with Andrea Bennett, who you know.
Yeah.
And she came here with that, who's that doctor that's also like an influencer? Dave?
Yeah.
You know what I mean. I can't think of his name.
I know, Dave Morris.
Dave Morris. It was Dave Morris, Andrea, and they went to 00, Golden Tiki for cocktails, and they came here. They went to an 8-hour, I'm sorry, they said it was a 10-hour crawl, 8 restaurants.
Okay.
And I asked her, I said, she says, it's recently they want to come to Chinatown. We're getting more and more of it.
Andrea
Finally,
doesn't live here anymore. She used to be an editor at Vegas Magazine.
Yes, now she does. She's in charge of the website for the LVAC. She's great. And John, John pitching, like he said, all those stories is true.
Yeah.
And now it finally
got there.
They want to write about, National Geographic had to spend 24 hours in Vegas, and they said, you got to go to Chinatown.
Huh?
And it's just been a lot. And then because of the Chinatown Vegas, a lot of them reached that. We come in first for 50 keywords.
Yeah.
50.
Yeah. Wow.
Even if you Google Shanghai Plaza, even though they have their own website, ours comes up first. So people contact us all the time. And about 5 years ago, I guess it's called a pitch. I don't know. But I wrote to some major journalists from like National Geographic, Condé Nast, the big ones. I said, my name is Joe. I run ChinatownVegas.com. We went from being an obscure neighborhood to being a major tourist attraction. Mm-hmm. If you're ever there, and I know everybody loves to visit Vegas sooner or later, please let me know. I'd love to give you a tour or link you with any chef. So they did, and they started taking me up. I'll be there next week. I'll be there in a year. So we started getting a lot of press for it.
We just need all the influencers, the mindless ones with
the one.
Once it gets there,
well, I always say you have content creators, you have influencers, then you have influenzas. Because some of them are like a virus.
I want to put a plate of congee in front of somebody in a lot of these influencers. Yeah. Tell me what that is.
Ground up oatmeal.
Yeah,
it's farina.
Oatmeal. It's
farina.
Yeah, there's all, and pork butt, and big chunks of pork butt.
Okay, now getting to the census.
Let's talk about.
It's called Chinatown, but the big news that John came out with is that the majority of restaurants, aren't actually Chinese.
58.
No, Japanese.
Right. The
58 are
majority.
Japanese and 35 are Chinese.
I'm glad he did
might-
that
Yeah.
because I thought it would be Korean most, to be honest with
That
you.
was, I think, my
Because there's
guess.
just every time I look, there's a new Korean place open. But
I think
This
Koreans
is-
might own a majority.
Yes.
yeah, that's most likely. And no, and Chinese too. Chinese is all
Yeah.
and up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's mostly Japanese. But I still think it's going to end up being more Korean because Korean anything with K-pop and just Korean anything's in style right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if in another year or two Korea is in first.
Okay.
Well, my personal theory about why Japanese food is taking over, and again, of the 58 I counted, and I'm going to get into some downsides in a minute. A lot of them are things I don't care for at all. You know, revolving sushi, all you can eat sushi and things like that. I mean, you have the achizas, you have the rakus, or things of that nature, hashi, you know, izakaya go. You have the exquisite Japanese.
Kame, there's so much of that stuff.
Sanga.
Kabuto, Yui.
Yeah,
You turned me on to Yui too.
Yeah.
You turned me on to Yui.
Does
Yeah, you-
Nakamura get Japanese or well, it's not
Right, it's very definitely a Japanese restaurant.
Which one?
Nakamura
No, the
You know
waffle.
what? That's the restaurant I've been to more than any restaurant in the
Yeah.
world, including my own.
Yeah, it's great.
I've been there at least 80 times.
Nakamura,
It's
yeah,
my comfort food place.
Exactly. So Japanese, what I think is the appeal of it is that it goes across the board with you can eat very simple and clean and exquisite, or that you can go full hog, $500 a person meals, and I think it just has broad based appeal. People still pigeonhole, you know. Korean food is just being a lot of heavy soups and stews, and Chinese food is being oily and heavy, which isn't true, you know.
Japanese is healthy.
But Japanese is kind of caught a wave here, and I think that's one of the reasons it's so popular. But I agree with Joe. I think that a lot of Korean money. That's what I want to talk about. Then that a lot of big money's coming into town, and I don't like what he's doing. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, it's, you know, we don't want this to be commercial. And like I said earlier, right now it's a tourist magnet, not a tourist trap. And I think John's right. If it keeps coming up with a lot of these chains, you know, it's gonna get to that. We have a lot of big names here. But some of the big names like Katoya that just opened, they're doing some real crap stuff. Takes them 6 minutes to make one matcha.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
yes,
matcha tea place, and it's a little shoe
And
up.
you have 6 people fit inside.
People making you matcha teas that are
The whisking it with the.
okay. I don't know how they make any money at it.
I mean, there's a line all the
time,
time, but it takes 6 minutes to make the drink. They fit 6 people inside.
the margin, I'm sure.
Well, so I think they have 3 price points: $11 for 6-ounce matcha, 14, and I think 16. So they're on the pricier side. But I'm not going to drink enough. If I have one of them a year, that'll be a lot. So I will splurge for that. If I had to have something like that every day, I would maybe.
What's your opinion on boba tea? Because I get fed up with all the boba tea.
All the big name Molly Tea, I think they just opened behind China Mama.
Okay.
They have thousands of locations in China. Chicha Sen has thousands of locations. There's so many of them.
I just don't like it. I'm like, I'm either drinking something or I'm eating
Because you're
something.
not a Taiwanese teenager.
Yeah, I
That's
don't-
why.
It's mostly for teenagers. I'm a real tea drinker. I love muesli tea. I have a tea collection at home. I have pu'ers that go back to the 80s that I drink after a greasy meal. So it's going to be hard for me to really become a boba fan. And then TP Tea Lounge, which is TPT, they invented.
Oh,
They invented boba
wait, the inventor of boba is
here
here. Okay.
under their sister company, but
Got
it's the
it.
same umbrella, same recipe.
Yeah.
They're like McDonald's. They took
Yeah,
they took
started
the internet. Yeah,
Now
wow.
we got it.
It was a
Wow.
very specialized thing, and then it being Hong Kong and Taiwan and whatnot. So, what do you see as the future of Chinatown?
Well, when the Jade Promenade opens, I'm really excited about that place.
And where is the location of that going?
So it's just east of us. If you know where the Bank of America is, it's from Wynn Road all the way to Valley View on the Pioneer side. On this side, it only has a little opening. So the entrance will be from Spring Mountain, but the exits will be from Pioneer Street.
Okay.
It's a $70 million project by a local developer. And he's very, 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 very Asian forward.
Okay.
He actually even asked us, my partners and I, if he should allow non-Asian restaurants in there. I said, absolutely. Because, you know, right now, I think John would agree. Right now, I think the best Spanish restaurant in the city is here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amador. I mean, it might be the
Yes.
best Spanish.
Well, and I was going to say that's also a unique thing is the anomalies that are here. You've got Partage and all.
Which is one of the best. Which one of the best French
And then you've got
restaurants?
Double Zero.
Double Zero is definitely, in my opinion, the best pizza in
Yes.
town.
We also had EDO Tapas, now Amador. So you've got these like cool niche anomalies that aren't Asian.
And great pizzas at.
What? Oh, Pop Cafe.
You know what? He told me it's the real deal.
Oh, it's
and
good.
I read that he said that
It's
somewhere. I
really
haven't been there yet, but it's supposed to be Napolitan style pizza.
Yeah.
He was doing the matcha the real way too,
Yeah.
but it was too time consuming, so he batches it like everybody else. But anyway, going back to that first meeting with the redevelopment plan, there was talk about changing it to Asia Town.
Oh, yeah.
What's interesting is I own AsiaTownVegas.com too, because in the beginning I didn't know what it would be called.
Yeah.
Chinatown LV, I have them all. I have about 13 domain names pointing. So if you go to VegasChinatown.com, ChinatownVegas.com, SpringMountainRD.com, it all goes there. But then I said, wait, Chinatown LV, like we know what that is.
Yeah.
But if you're in Indiana, what's that, Louis Vuitton?
Yeah.
Like you don't know what it is. So I decided to go with Chinatown Vegas. But at the time, the consultant and the architect firm for the plan said, wait a minute, if we change the name, these restaurants are going to lose millions of dollars worth of branding. For example, We're a Thai.
Yeah.
Over here, when they first opened this place, this was called We're a Thai Spring Mountain. Then when they changed it right away to capitalize on the
We're a Thai
Chinatown.
Yeah.
Trattoria Nakamura, Japanese by great Japanese people. He knows them even way better than I do.
Yeah.
The family, they love him.
Kenga-san.
Same thing, Trattoria Nakamura Chinatown.
Yeah.
Because it's a brand now. So it's not going to be changed to Asia Town anytime soon. And the fact is that I think about it, when I go to Chinatown in New York especially, there's always been Italian restaurants in there. You can't even decide where Chinatown and Little Italy ends. It kind of intermix. But just think about this. At its peak, the San Francisco Chinatown, now not the whole city, but their Chinatown had 132 restaurants. So of course they're not going to have as many Japanese as we have or as many Koreans as we have. And when you have 248 or 239, depending how we're going to count them, that's not the important. What's important to know is, of course, you're going to have more of non-Asian restaurants too. And we welcome. Nobody puts this scrutiny on like the French Quarter or the Italian Little Italy. Wait, not the only Italian restaurants.
Yes.
But if Chinese all of a sudden, but the one last thing I'll add there, and I just learned this because I don't speak a word of Chinese. He speaks way more Chinese than I do. The word Chinatown,
I said Gong Hei Fa Shui. That's it.
the word Chinatown doesn't even exist in the Chinese language.
Oh.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah,
It was a word made by non-Chinese Asians for a place for all Asians to go. They called it Chinatown because, I think Chinese might be the original Asian.
Yeah.
They found
I don't think Koreans or Japanese people or Vietnamese people care.
No.
I don't think. I think they are happy being in a place called Chinatown because they know it has that connotation, that mag.
So I think that's not what. Now there's been talk that the Southwest is going to be called Asia Town, but there's a lot of Chinese there too.
Yeah.
So Chinatown,
South Rainbow. South Rainbow.
When you go to Chicago now, there's a second Chinatown there. It's all Vietnamese. The second Chinatown that's there is 90% Vietnamamese. But the thing is, back then, I didn't even, when I was a kid in New York, I didn't know if it was Vietnamese.
I couldn't read it.
Now I could tell Korean, you see a lot more circles.
Yes.
That's the only way I could tell the Korean. They have more circles.
Have you ever been to Garden Grove in Southern California?
Yes. Oh my
it's just nothing but
Westminster is also one.
It's crazy.
Buena Park.
Fountain Valley,
But
Buena
right
Park,
now,
yes.
that's what.
Yes, that is
Monterey Park.
The only place, to believe it or not, because I'm from New Jersey, Fort Lee, New Jersey has the most Koreans in the country right now.
Wow.
It's insane.
People forget this. We've got all this talent sitting right here. So people ask me, one of the reasons I wrote my article is, and I know you're trying to cover all of it. I have recommendations like my favorite Japanese, Chinese, etc. But people, especially guilos like us, go, well, where should I eat? You when they ask, it's not like when they ask you where do I get a good Italian food or where I can get a good steak. They ask you with a certain, you see the fear behind their eyes a little bit, like,
where do I start?
Where do I go? Because I don't want to walk into a place that's going to make me feel bad or be confusing, And yeah, I mean, I've been to Asia, and I know when you're walking around Hong Kong, you can definitely feel like, Jesus, what am I getting myself into? But so someone comes to you and says, where should I give a handful of places, people, let's just come here for the first time, interested in all things Asian, want to try our Chinatown. Where's a few places you would send them besides Shanghai Taste, number one?
I take the same approach being a sommelier for so many years. When people ask me what wine do you recommend, the first thing I would ask them is, what do you normally enjoy drinking?
Okay.
So when they ask me for a recommendation, I ask them, what do you normally like eating? Doesn't matter what cuisine it is, because sometimes I go to certain restaurants. I said, you know what? If my sister served me this, I would just think it's part of an Italian dish. I mean, some noodle dishes, some dan noodles. Some of them could be like, if my grandmother cooked them for me, I wouldn't say, hey, what'd you do? This isn't good. It's delicious.
Yeah.
So I normally ask them what they normally enjoy eating, and then depends if they. Some people buy sushi in supermarkets. I'm sure John never even tried it, neither did I, but some people do. So then I might send them like to Nico, all you could eat. Okay. It depends. I don't go to those places because honestly, I don't even like to eat a lot anymore. I like to taste a lot.
What about someone who's like, I'll generally eat it all, but I'm intimidated, or like I've never been to a Chinatown and I just want to experience it. Where should I go?
Chinese?
Anywhere. What do you recommend? Like
I would okay.
Like a cheese. Say go to a cheese. It's one of the oldest.
I wouldn't start with Japanese.
Yeah,
Japanese is too special.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, where would you send them?
If they like spicy food, I might send them to Chengdu Taste. If they like a food that's a little on the sweeter side, I could tell them to come to Shanghai Taste.
Yeah.
If they like hot pot, there's thousands of hot pots now.
Too many hot pots.
Chubby Cattle was the first one to succeed at it.
Okay.
And now, honestly, in the last month, 3 new ones opened.
Isn't there going to be like a whole Chubby Cattle compound of?
Yeah, that's the Japanese. The whole thing is Japanese.
Oh.
It's 4 floors where a Firestone used to be.
Okay.
And it's going to actually open up into the promenade. Yes. Exactly. I was wondering if somebody would put a food court there. That was a great corner.
I'd start sending them to China Mama.
Actually, you know what? That's the most user-friendly. He's right.
China Mama, we're a Thai.
China, yes.
Try we're a Thai. Pho Saigon number 8. I love Pho Saigon East, too.
Yeah.
Pho Saigon East, a new
I
place.
love that place, too. That's my favorite right now.
And what I love about Asians is that they caught the plot pretty fast here. Well, 25 years ago, some of the menus would still confuse you. Now, almost all of them have these, especially the big places with bigger menus, have picture menus. So you can look right at, and generally what comes out, whether it's Chinese, Korean, what have you, what shows up looks, just almost identical to what they're trying.
China Mama also, you flip it over, it's in English.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing.
Exactly.
Chinese.
So I would start places like that just because, I'm not trying to put Japanese on a pedestal, which I kind of do anyway. But when you're going to get into fine Japanese, like izakaya, izakaya go, you have to have a certain appreciation for, the better sushi, better Japanese noodles and things like that to get the most out of those. You might be, unless you already have that, I would go with somebody who knows that cuisine first. A lot like going to Korean restaurants.
Yeah,
it's a lot more. You get a lot more out of Korean food when you go with a Korean native, and we have a bunch of friends, and they'll say, lot. Sometimes they're right, but they teach you about the food, and that helps a lot.
That's one thing that Chinese traditionally have lacked behind is the hospitality. Mm-hmm. And I learned later on that the reason they kind of not ignored the white person is because the white person would always complain. And it was usually about texture and stuff that is like the raw. Right. That texture is supposed to be like that. If you just because you don't like it, doesn't mean it's, like when people would complain about a wine sometimes, I would do this every time. I would go up to them and I would pause 3 seconds. I would say, there's nothing wrong with the wine. Pause 1, 2, 3, and there's nothing wrong with you either. This way I don't look like a jerk and I don't make them feel bad. But I would pause. There's nothing wrong with this wine. 3, and there's nothing wrong with you either. And that's I have to do that with food too. I'm not going to But the Japanese, they were the first ones to give kick-ass hospitality. They yell something when you walk in. What is it? Like welcome.
Hi.
Yeah. It's a phrase.
They welcome you. Like welcome to my home or whatever it is. But they yell it. Whereas the Chinese will turn around and walk away from you because they're like, this guy's just going to come and complain.
Well, I think in the before times, a lot of Asian restaurants got snaked, but especially mom and pops that don't want to give away food when people would order things and not like it and not want to pay for it. And I remember in my early eating days in New York's Chinatown and that, I would say, I want that. And they would look at me like I had to assure them, even if I don't like it, I'm going to pay
don't worry, I'm going to pay for it. That's right. That's a good call.
Just bring the food and I'll decide. So yeah, it can be challenging, but because of Chinatown.com, and there's so many resources now that were not around 20 years ago.
I mean, even Yelp, we make fun of it, but you want to look at the pictures, you should be able to figure out yourself if it's the type of food you want.
Right.
I haven't read a review on there, but sometimes I'll go to Yelp, I'll look at the pictures. You can tell if the guy knows what he's doing by how he plates his food.
Yeah, right.
So it's a good tool. And then a lot of people try to do their own app. And I look at it, I'm like, we really don't need it. Yelp really is, even again, I don't agree with the reviewers. And we get people here, a 45-minute wait, that's ridiculous, 1 star. I complain, have them take it down, they leave it there. So like, I give up on them too.
I just saw on Instagram yesterday, when you feel bad about ratings on the internet, look at what people rate Mount Fuji as. One of the most beautiful mountains in the world. It's 1-star reviews.
Yeah.
No, there
was snow on it.
Yeah, not too much snow. It's just a big rock. You know what I mean? It wasn't that interesting.
People also rate the DMV. I had to wait in line. So, okay. Yeah. What do you think? Okay, so before we get into our Chinatown gripes, what do you think are some of the issues or like problems that maybe the area will face in the upcoming year?
Well, as more and more people flock here, the speed limit's still 45. The intersection of Decatur and Spring Mountain is one of the most dangerous intersections. It was just an accident 2 days ago. Again, somebody rushed to the hospital. We had those cops died a few years ago, smashed right into. If you go right before you get to Raku, those palm trees are finally just growing back now. They were mowed down. So I supposedly the speed limit will be lowered. Phase 2 of the street development. I was told by Justin Jones directly. So it'll be brought down to 35. I've been complaining for 3 years every Monday on the gripe section that Twain from Polaris to Rainbow is 30 miles an hour. I'd never seen a pedestrian there.
Right.
Yeah.
And here you have people trying to go with,
bags,
that's my main gripe. Making left turns out of these malls is insane. You come out of the mall, Chinatown Plaza, and you try to make a left. It backs up everything. Here you can't make the left anymore because of the crosswalk. But I would ban lefts. The bus stops make absolutely no sense for tourists. Now, most residents here don't use buses, but a lot of our tourists would love to. And if you once they realize that for $8, they can have a 24-hour pass, get on and off it, walk right over from the Wind to the fashion show, get on the bus. The problem is that if you're coming to this restaurant or Shalom Dumpling across the street or Shiza upstairs across the street, you only get dropped off at Sam's Adult Club. That's it.
Down over.
If you're with your teenage kids, I mean, it's Vegas.
The lap dance with your Lamy in.
But you gotta walk, and you gotta walk. You gotta walk like crazy.
That's a little bit.
So I think what happened is these bus stops were placed before. Obviously, they weren't placed way before Chinatown existed. In New Jersey, and I think other places, the buses go right into the malls. Like the bus stop is inside the malls. They can't do that in this plaza. But they should be able to now approaching Shanghai Plaza, let them out. They're on that right lane anyway.
Well, and did I read that the Zooks from Resorts
They're all over the place.
are
even here.
Yeah, that's what. So that's exciting. And with the Boring Company doing their loop, hopefully it'll ease some of that.
There's 15 between Valley View and Jones. 15 stops inside the plazas.
Wow.
So
and they're also making more crosswalks. Did you already say that?
Yes, there's another one by Fuku Burger. That's because a lot of people run across the street there.
Right.
That's
because you have to park because that parking lot's so small where Amador is in China.
That's even worse than this one. That was the first horrific parking lot. That and where Nakamura is. Bad.
Yes. Oh my God.
That's I park on the side street. There's parking there.
Yes, that's where I usually go. Okay, let's do our Chinatown gripes. What's your biggest gripe about Chinatown or Chinatown tourists or?
Well, the speed limit, what we just said, the potholes are ferocious, the traffic light timers. Oh my God, don't get me started. I time myself from where the Starbucks used to be to go to Desert Breeze Park at 4:45 in the morning with nobody on the road. And it took me 21 minutes. I got every single traffic light. I think it's 4 or 5 miles. Every traffic light. I even had a meeting with the RTC and I told them, wait a minute, the Tenaya and Rainbow light, Spring Mountain and Tenaya light, is 8 seconds going this way and 30 seconds going this way. Nobody ever goes on Tenaya north to south. I've never seen cars there. But when I'm waiting at that light, because I like to go jogging at the Desert Breeze Park, there's like 5 or 6 cars behind me. So the traffic light timers are so bad that if they would just reverse it, how they have it now, it would be more successful.
Joe, at 4:45 in the morning, stoplights are just suggestions, okay? They're not really laws.
Okay? You turn right, and then you turn right.
I never got that one in Tenaya, so I pulled over. I said, I got to time this thing. And it was 8 seconds. It's impossible not to get it, unless you pull over and wait for it.
Okay, but besides traffic, I'll give you a gripe about tourists or customers or foods you don't like, something like that.
I mean, I don't like a lot of these all-you-could-eat places because there's just too many of them.
You just stole mine because that was going to be mine.
Yeah, I think that's something we could eat. Many of us would agree on. I think that could be a good introduction to certain people to at least try some different food. Maybe they just think they're getting a better deal, but that's no different than supermarket sushi. I mean, to think that you're getting a good quality, it's not. And
You don't really. Sorry to interrupt, but you're not really experiencing Las Vegas' Chinatown or anybody's Chinatown when you go to an all-you-can-eat place.
I mean, we have a Subway here too. Imagine if a tourist is going to go eat at Subway. You come to Chinatown, you eat at a Subway. We have a Jack in the Boxes, a McDonald's here. There are these places. Actually, I just remembered and realized I forgot that where Fuku Burger is. That was a Taco Bell.
Yeah, I knew that. And you could tell by
and people ate there. And people still go to Jack in the Box, and they still do all this stuff. And you have some, I don't know if you've been to Maker's Take It Easy Roasters, the coffee place.
No.
It's incredible coffee. They roast it. You walk in, you see them roasting the coffee right there.
Where's this?
You know Gu Pluses?
Yes.
Gu?
Yeah.
It's just down.
Oh, okay.
That street is actually
the little side street.
Yes.
Right there. Yeah. Right.
It's the same people on Makers and Finders.
Oh.
Okay.
But real espresso, they give you a sparkling water
What's
with
it
it.
called?
Take It Easy Roasters. Go try it. It's really good. And their empanadas are really good Colombian style empanada. I couldn't believe it. I actually asked, I said, okay, who's the chef here? Who's the chef here? And I went in there. She goes, yeah, I worked here. I worked there. So my gripes are also a lot of these chains. I think that's something most of us would agree on. There's going to be a lot of them, and we don't want to be known as a tourist trap.
Right.
So,
that's what I'm afraid of with all the hot pots and the all-you-can-eats and all these international chains coming in with big money. They're going to drive up rents, and they're just going to basically, the Nakamura Yas and the Shanghai Tastes are just going to be like, because this place, the lease will come up for renewal, and the landlord's going to go, well, this big money guy coming from Taiwan, you can pay me double the rent you're paying me. Why should I rent to you? And blah, blah. That's a danger that we could be facing here in the next.
And another gripe, which I know is John's too, is a restaurant that opens up and tries to be everything. There's a new place that's opening down the street. I won't mention it. It says Vietnamese, Japanese, Chinese, Korean. They're doing all
right.
So it's really
and karaoke.
Yes, exactly. So we're talking about the same place. So I really like specialized restaurant. I respect a little place like this, Onigiri.
Okay.
You go in there, it's really tiny, streamlined. They just do onigiri. They do it well. Shamon is another gem.
Yeah.
They do onigiri, tenon. So I think if you're going to look at the future for me, I think it's going to be specialized people. You come here for xiaolong bao. I'm not saying the other dishes aren't good, but you come here for xiaolong bao. You go to onigiri for onigiri. I think that's going to be hopefully that's the future of Chinatown.
You go to Izakaya, go for Japanese kind of cheeses.
Yeah, you want to go there at 2:00 in the morning. I think they're open late.
Baku, late night is tremendous. Okay, what's your pet peeve? She's got one right up your alley. I want to get this.
Well, one is the obvious parking, but the other one's the wine lists. The wine lists are always so there's three. It's
I think the word you have written down on our call sheet here is SHIT wine list, right?
Shit wine list. I write these.
I think you're right, and the fact that there's not a wine bar on the street is I think.
Well, you got Partage.
Yes, that's right. They got the yes, that's right. Yes, I forgot that.
Lists, and then these punitive corkage policies that are absolute $35 when you're giving me red, white, pink as my options. That's just
John just mentioned a great Thai place on the western side that has a $6 corkage fee. And you know what? If everybody went in there and paid that $6 and left, the guy would make more money than selling a lot of those wines.
Yes.
But it's funny you say that because I haven't been in the wine business in quite some time, but a lot of restaurants, even in this area, asked me to do some consulting. So I think I'm going to try to upgrade a lot of the beverage for free. I'm not getting paid for that. And I would like to see some of these restaurants actually just roll out a Garidon and say, today we have this this Riesling from Alsace, it's $7 a glass, $29 a bottle.
Yes.
So give them some good deals. Instead of just throwing a menu at anybody. Even John is always posing with the big wine list, but he enjoys it. I like looking at a wine list too. But let's face it, most people don't.
And they won't even know what to do with it anyways. I agree with that. Do a specialized, limited.
I will train the staff myself. You go up there and say, hi, today, we have a Riesling from Alsace. It's perfect with our pad thai. It's great with spicy food. If you like a big red wine, we have one here. I don't recommend it with everybody will be an expert of those 8 wines. That's it. And rotate them all the time. Make it exciting.
And most places would do well. Even with a small corkage, to encourage people to bring their own.
Pork, it should be $5 or $10 at the most.
Yeah,
if it's a
yeah.
finer dining restaurant where they're going to decant for you. But
Yeah.
technically, I don't know. John does a lot of BYOBs too, and I try to. But we were told here that we cannot even open it, touch it, pour it.
Right. I've been to places and they don't even give you a wine glass. So I'm
Yeah.
not worried about breakage.
Yeah,
yeah.
we've had nice. We don't. I'm just noticing that we have nice wine glasses, but supposing we could just put the wine glass so we can't touch the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
is that the?
Well, and it's not the law. It's not the law.
It's not the law.
It's not the law. I mean, I was in code enforcement for 10 years at the city. I don't want to get too deep into this, but there's nothing to prevent people from pushing.
So if the server here, you want your own wine, he opened it, it's
they
fine?
can do it.
Yeah, that would be good. I mean, I would love that.
No one's going to get in trouble or lose their license over letting people bring their own wine to these places. They will not.
And I think a lot of these restaurants don't serve wine because they don't have somebody that trains the staff. You ask a server, like even when I worked for Battalion in New York as the beverage director, the first thing I did, I just found one line for all our popular dishes. And I told the waiter, listen, if somebody says, what do you recommend with the beef cheek ravioli or terrell de rotogliano? You say it fast like that without hesitation. They're going to believe you. If you start saying, well, depends, blah, blah, blah. So you have 8 dishes, 8 wines you recommend. Everybody's an expert.
Okay, John, what's yours?
I really don't have one.
You do. You told me one in the
Joe stole all of mine. The love chopsticks, I don't like it when I go in, especially, and it does that, but I love that little Zhang Hui Jun down the street, which is this ethereally great Hunan place. Again, it's got 30 seats, and the ladies are so nice. But every time I go in again and again, they always ask me if I want a fork. And I
they still, that's right.
I know it looked like I would want a fork, but some of these places, when the Guilos show up, I mean, you've got to assume they know something. I mean, I know why they offer. I just get insulted when they keep offering me forks when I've come back empty.
Yeah, it's true. They do it a lot.
My biggest one in this town is what I call it's the commodification of Chinatown, and it has to do. It's all rolled up into what Joe talked about, and I don't want to go too far, but it's big money's coming in here, big real estate money, and they're turning this place into something for teenagers. And the masses, all you can eat, the boba shops, the influx of hot pots, which is just kind of another all-you-need kind of concept. It's just cheap, dirty food that doesn't really show the cuisines of these countries off as well as the Shanghai tastes do and the Raccoons do. And I'm afraid of that. And every time I go to these shopping centers, I got nothing against so me, but
that plate.
I still haven't had it, but people love it.
Yeah, people love it.
Is ice cream quality?
There's the dipped hot dogs, and you walk around. It's all these stupid teenagers eating their stupid little ice cream cone with the Korean hot dog. I mean, it's like we turn this into a cheap ass food Disneyland, and that's what I do not want Chinatown to become.
No, he's right. I would advocate against that too. I mean, it's great about it is, like he said, it's organic. This just happened. Most Chinatowns were created for places for them to live. This was created specifically for them to shop and eat.
Yeah.
Nobody really lives here. I mean, that's changing too now with some condo projects being built, and even upstairs in Kame, there's some condos there. So
here's to Chinatown.
Here's to
cheers.
Chinatown.
Cheers.
Again, we're Talk Beef. Joe, thanks for joining us.
Kanpai.
Remind everyone where
this was a lot of fun for me. Thank you.
Yeah, where they can keep up to date on all the Chinatown news.
Well, John does a great job.
He's slacking, but what's your website? What are the
ChinatownVegas.com, at Chinatown Vegas on all social media platforms.
Yeah.
Even platforms I didn't even know existed, like Plurk.
It's a new one.
PLURK, Live Journal, Instapaper.
All right.
Tumblr. We're still active on Tumblr.
The Google Maps. I mean, it's a day-to-day, week-to-week update, which we all can do. Love Chinatown. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you so much.
Come by.
Thank you. See, I told you he knows more foreign languages than me.
Arigatou gozaimasu.